Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, and we are ready to move on to the battles leading up to Fredericksburg on the Union campaign of Ultimate General Civil War. This is Legendary Mode, and we're going into the Battle of Iuka, September 19th, 1862. Actually fought 2 days after the Battle of Antietam. And this is what my army looks like now. I'll show you a couple of things real quick. Because these minor battles, the scaling, a lot of it's based on the average size of your unit. What I decided to do was I brought in, for the 10 brigades I'm going to use, the units that had the most men in them already. So I didn't have to pour a lot of reinforcements in. So any of the units that were heavily engaged and lost a lot of troops, for example, Ohio Outlaws, Fighting Finns, Wolverines, who all are down to under half strength, I have left out of this battle. Now, like I said, that's one reason, was because of the average size of the strength. Also because I want to get some other units some additional experience and get them up to 2 stars. So a lot of 1-star units here, and this is a good opportunity to do that because this is a battle where I have a numerical advantage, which has been pretty rare in the Legendary campaign so far. There seems to be a base amount that he has at Iuka, and that is just over 10,000. So we're going in against that smallest amount possible. Now we can check real quick and see. I'll go create a couple more brigades and see if it brings this number down. So that's 10,420. Let's see what happens if I create a few more 500-man brigades. All right, so I created several more 500-man brigades. It made no change. I think that is the base amount, and I think that's as low as he goes. But we're going to have a decent advantage here. 15,084 men and 36 guns up against his 10,000 and 30 guns. So this is an assault on a defended, fortified position that's actually protected by water on one side. So we basically have a couple of options here. And either one of the options, if we hit him from either flank, involves crossing over the water. Now this water here is actually closer to his defensive position, it seems. Well, maybe not, because it looks like he might be defending in here. So it might be, yeah, I'm torn. I think I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to come around this side, come up through these woods, and hit him right here. But I'll try to stick as close to the water here as I possibly can. Once I get across, I can push into these woods and hopefully kind of push him out in this direction. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, not using a lot of highly experienced units, bringing in some of my newer ones just to get them experience. So that's going to cost me more casualties than I might otherwise take, but I think in the end it's going to work out for me and help me build a better army going into Fredericksburg. So I'll get everybody going, get them into position, and we'll come on back. Okay, so I've made first contact with the enemy in the form of some mounted infantry that is right up here near the water line, and I can see he does have fortified position right here, so we're going to definitely want to cross as far to the edge of the map as possible so we can come up from this way. I don't want to be hitting these guys square on. And he's got a bunch of skirmishers here, so alright, so I'm slowly bringing these brigades up. They're going to come right up in through here. It's going to take the better part of the time on this timer for this battle, but it's not even noon yet, so I think I should have plenty of time to fight this one out. He's actually bringing a brigade over there, so I got to be careful here. Let's at least get these 20-pounders going. He's actually right on the edge of my range for those. I'm going to go ahead and get Carol's Marauders up there in a hurry to kind of help out with these skirmishers. We'll let the rest of them continue doing what they're doing. I think everybody's got their orders. So we'll talk briefly about the historic Battle of Iuka. This was part of the Corinth campaign. It was a strategy by General Grant using two prongs with two different armies to try and deal with the Confederate army. So he had the Army of the Tennessee and the Army of the Mississippi. Grant was kind of directly controlling the Army of the Tennessee. The Army of the Mississippi was under Rosecrans. And for most of what we call the Western Theater, there were always kind of two armies. There was the Army of the Ohio for a long time. So in this situation, it was a relatively small engagement. Rosecrans had about 4,500 men. Sterling Price, who was commanding the Confederate force here, had about 3,000 men, but lost a lot. He lost like 50% casualties in this battle. So it was a relatively small engagement, but the casualties, at least on the Confederate side, were pretty heavy. Union lost about 800 men, so that's nothing to scoff at. That's a pretty significant number as well, considering how many were involved in this battle. But it was fought in Iuka, Mississippi, obviously, and it actually stopped Sterling Price's advance. So I guess from that standpoint, it was a Union victory. So he's going to slow me down here from crossing until I drive these guys off, but that shouldn't be a huge problem for me. We'll let these guys continue to move up. What I'm going to do is once I do cross, I'm going to bring these guys out and get these guns firing. Well, speaking of guns, actually I want to fire on that battery. Let's slow that battery down. So pretty much all of my units have, in fact they do, all of my infantry have either Springfield 1855s or Harper's Ferry 1855s. So they're all pretty well equipped. We're going to let those guys continue to do what they're doing. We're just going to shoot it out here. I'd like to bring Carroll's Marauders up, but I'm not crazy about the position they're in, but if we can get them up into these woods, they'll still have some decent cover. Perfect. Now he's turning to face them, and now Carroll's Marauders gets to get right into his flank. Perfect. And there's Sterling Price there. He's his army commander in this one. Obviously, this version of the Battle of Iuka is way larger than the historic one was. So now we're going to come right to the edge of these woods here to where we can cover that water if he tries to come at me again, which he may not. I'm going to go ahead and get these skirmishers reattached because they're down to 155. Do the same with Kempers. So we've got his guns firing now, but I'm firing on him. And these guys are finally getting into place. So we'll go ahead and get them across. We'll start with the skirmishers, get them across first, so they can protect these guys so they're not getting fired on as they're entering the water. And there's some guns up there. So we're going to drive these guys through here, push them out. So let's see how our condition is. They're all at about 45 to 50%, so it's not ideal, so we're going to definitely need to give them a chance to recover before they push the attack. get these guys across the water as quickly as I can. So far I've lost about 300 men. We've inflicted about 800 casualties. We've got a regiment or a brigade over here as well as some 24-pounders, and I'm not sure how much use I'm going to get out of them. But once this battle lines into these woods, we'll go ahead and push out with those guns. Alright. It's happening slowly, but we are getting into position here. Let's go ahead and get some skirmishers out on the flank here. Alright, we gotta drive off these guns. There we go. Alright, once we're into the woods, we need some time to recover. These guys are at 60%. They're at 11% condition. 18% 0, so that's certainly not a force that I can drive an attack with. I'm going to shift these guys away. So we've brought down that force pretty well. Shift these guys a little further away from those guns so I can get across the water. Alright, we need our condition brought up quickly now. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to pause for a second, and then I'm going to start preparing to get these guys moved out and just draw some of his fire as we push in over here and hopefully get my 24-pounders close enough to start hitting them. All right. Oh boy. Okay, let's get these guys up here. I want to wipe out this battery if I can. Of course, it's going to draw some fire from gates, but that's okay. finally drove off those skirmishers. I need to give him a chance to relax a little bit. Recoup. He's still at 0% condition. Alright, we've got to get these 24 pounders going. Draw these skirmishers back. Alright, actually we already routed them, so that was pretty convenient. There's 17 minutes to go. I'm going to assume I've got time past the timer to get this objective taken out. We've taken out 1,400 of his men. I've lost, 700, 800. Alright, let's get this battery. Go ahead and advance forward here. And our 24 pounders are finally opening up. Well, he's reoccupying the fortifications. That's not going to last very long. Back out. I really don't want... I'd rather shoot it out. I don't want a melee situation when I'm using those 1855s if possible. We'll keep letting the 24 pounders do their thing while we come in here and try to hit A-Bear from his flank. Yeah, no, we're not finishing this one quite yet. See what he's down to. He's down to 7,700 men. These guys are still only at 2%. I'm just going to kind of chill with them for a little bit here. And he just rode right through my line, like I was standing still and watching. Interesting. Alright, we're going to send those skirmishers back to deal with him. We'll keep these guys back here too, because advancing is just wearing them out. Alright, slow down. And A-Bear's gonna reoccupy those fortifications, which suddenly places my 20... Why are they going... I didn't send them that far up. Alright, perfect. He's down to 6,000 men now. And we can probably just sit right here until it's time to take the objective. Now green, he's facing the other way, it seems. Who did we leave back here? Now we've got some skirmishers. We'll get them reattached. I'm going to go ahead and push up with Pleasant and deal with these guys. Alright, now we advance, we take the objective. We'll see if it allows us to continue this fight past the contested timer. Oh, he's finally going to reappear with these guys. Now they're just going to sit there. If it allows us to continue, I'll keep pushing it as long as I can. This is getting some really good experience for a lot of these 1-star units, going up against 3 stars and just kind of being pretty handily winning. But it may finish this off as soon as Iuka is no longer contested. We'll find out here in a minute. Yep, that's it. Okay. So we did what we could with the time we had. 1,000 casualties, took out a little over 4,000 of his, maybe about 4,300 total, took out 20 guns. So if nothing else, there's some experience there with very few losses on my side, and we're making up a lot of the guns, so that's good. Nothing really to report in that department. So Karo's Marauders, almost 1,000 kills, 238 losses. Pretty good day for all of them. Kemper's going to get some real good experience there. I'm curious to see if that got him up to 2 stars yet or not as we go into the Battle of Perryville. So you can see now I'm up to 86 on my reputation point. So before we get to Fredericksburg, I'll have to spend that down or else I'll lose some. I'll probably buy some of these 20-pounder parrots. Those will come in handy for Fredericksburg. We'll see what else I decide to buy with those. But let's go ahead and take a look real quick at Perryville. That's going to be a larger battle. So I'll have 14 brigades. He's got right now just about 19,000 men, though I would expect that'll probably go up. So it's going to end up being pretty even odds, probably, in that one. But we'll see what happens. All right, so Kemper didn't quite get to 2 stars. He's only about halfway to... he still needs 39 more experience to get to the next level. So that probably won't happen because I'm going to kind of spend him back down a little bit. But not a lot. So that wasn't too bad. So we'll get these guys refit, just the existing units that are here, and we'll see where that puts it. Because we get to take a few more units in addition to this. I just want to see what the numbers look like with what we've got so far. A couple of these batteries, especially this 24-pounder battery, they're getting pretty close to 3 stars, though. I'm not entirely sure I want to keep brigadier generals in command of those units because they could probably be better used in charge of some of my brigades that are going to need commanders moving forward. But let's see where that puts it. All right, at that point, it's at 15,000 to 19,000. I've got 4 more brigades. Assuming I took all infantry, that would, in theory, give me 25,000, but I'll probably take some additional artillery. But as always, let me know your thoughts, not only on the battle I just fought, but on the one to come, and thinking ahead even to Fredericksburg, because I need to be kind of keeping that in the back of my mind, because that's going to be a big one. Use the comment section below. Please hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.